14 million white-collar jobs. Gone in 18 months, and 60% of them required a bachelor's degree or higher. For the first time since World War II, your diploma is the reason you can't find work. This isn't a recession, it's an extinction event, and it's only hitting one class of worker. Here's the chart every parent paying tuition needs to see. Unemployment among the college-educated in advanced economies has been climbing since 2019, and it accelerated hard in 2022, right when generative AI went mainstream. In the United States, unemployment for workers with a bachelor's or higher jumped nearly 40% in 18 months. In Canada, it's the highest since they started tracking. Korea and France, same trajectory. This is not a coincidence. This is not lagging data. This is the first labor market in modern history where the most educated workers are getting fired the fastest. The premium your degree used to pay, it just inverted. And notice what's not on this chart. Any country where the trend reverses. Every single advanced economy is bleeding knowledge workers at the same time. That's not a business cycle, that's a structural break. Now, here comes the obvious pushback. Total unemployment is still low. The economy is fine. Wrong. And here's the data that ends that argument. Compare total unemployment against unemployment for the college-educated. Historically, having a degree cut your jobless risk in half. That was the deal. That's why we borrowed $1.7 trillion in student loans. But since 2022, that gap has collapsed. In the US, UK, and Canada, the ratio between educated and total unemployment is the tightest it's been in 40 years. In some months, educated unemployment is rising while overall unemployment falls. Translation: the plumbers, electricians, and warehouse workers are keeping their jobs. The analysts, marketers, and coders are not. The degree premium isn't just shrinking, it's flipping into a degree penalty, and the labor force with advanced education has never been more oversaturated, more diplomas chasing fewer white-collar seats. Here's the part that should make you furious. GDP is growing. Look at this chart. Since 2021, every one of these economies posted positive GDP growth. The US hit 5.8% in 2021, and Korea, Australia, and Canada all rebounded hard. Companies are more profitable than ever. Corporate margins are near record highs. So where is the money going? Not to knowledge workers. This is the AI productivity paradox in one image. Output is climbing, employment for the educated is dropping. That has never happened before at this scale. In every previous tech transition, the PC, the internet, mobile, knowledge worker employment rose with GDP. This cycle broke that link. The economy doesn't need as many humans to grow anymore. And the humans it stopped needing first are the ones who thought their brains made them safe. Want to know exactly where the bleeding is happening? Services. This chart shows services as a percentage of GDP, and in the US, UK, and France, services now account for 70 to 80% of the entire economy. That's the knowledge sector. Consulting, legal, marketing, media, software, finance, HR, admin. Everything a chatbot can now do at 3 a.m. for 4 cents a query. Germany and Korea have smaller service shares because they kept manufacturing. And guess what? Their educated unemployment is rising slower. The economies that bet hardest on the knowledge economy are the economies getting hit hardest by AI. The US built a $25 trillion economy on white-collar labor. AI just walked into that economy with a scythe. If your job title contains the words analyst, associate, coordinator, or specialist, you are the target market. One last chart. This is the labor force with advanced education, the pool of degree holders competing for white-collar jobs. Since 2005, it has nearly doubled in most advanced economies. Half of the U.S. workforce now has a bachelor's degree or higher. Same in Canada and Australia. Korea is over 55%. We flooded the market with degrees for 2 decades, and now AI is destroying the demand side at exactly the moment supply peaked. Basic economics, massive supply, collapsing demand, price crashes. That price is your salary. That's why entry-level knowledge jobs are paying less in real terms than they did in 2015. The blue-collar worker your parents told you not to become? They're not competing with 60 million other degree holders, and their job can't be done by a large language model. The safest career in 2024 requires a tool belt, not a LinkedIn. Here's the verdict. The college degree was the safest bet in the 20th century labor market. In the 21st, it just became the riskiest. The data across 8 advanced economies tells one story. GDP is up, services dominate, degrees are everywhere, and the college-educated are the first group in modern history to face rising unemployment during an economic expansion. This isn't temporary. This isn't a rough patch. It's the knowledge economy eating itself with tools it built. The workers AI can't touch are the ones we spent 30 years telling kids not to become. If you're advising a teenager right now and you're still saying, go get a bachelor's, you're using a 1995 playbook in a 2025 market. The numbers don't care about your assumptions. If you want the data before the headlines catch up, subscribe. Every week I pull the actual World Bank, OECD, and BLS numbers and show you what the economy is really doing, not what the pundits guess it's doing. Charts, not opinions. Hit subscribe.